Chapter 11. The Breaking Point. The evening began like so many others, carefully orchestrated, deceptively calm. Stephen had invited a few colleagues and longtime friends to the house. The dining table was set with precision. The silverware gleamed beneath the chandelier's soft golden light. The aroma of spices, slow-cooked meats, and freshly prepared sides lingered warmly in the air. Amanda had spent the entire afternoon preparing the meal. She had left work early. She had stopped at the market. She had ironed the tablecloth herself because she did not want even a wrinkle to become a point of criticism. Every ingredient had been measured thoughtfully, every garnish placed with intention, not because she did not know how to cook, but because she knew she would be watched. Tanuke hovered, as she often did, not with assistance, but with supervision disguised as concern. "Not too much salt," she had warned. "Do not overcook the rice." Presentation matters. A wife must represent her husband properly. Amanda nodded at every instruction. She no longer defended herself. She no longer explained her methods. She had learned that explanation was interpreted as defiance. When the guests arrived, the house filled with masculine laughter and the confident cadence of professional men exchanging stories of business and ambition. Stephen appeared relaxed, proud even. Amanda moved gracefully between the kitchen and dining room, serving dishes with composure and quiet efficiency. She felt the familiar tightness in her chest, the pressure of performance. This was not simply dinner. It was examination. The guests complimented the aroma. One of Stephen's friends lifted his fork after the first bite and nodded appreciatively. "This is excellent," he remarked. "Stephen, you are fortunate." For a brief, fragile moment, warmth flickered in Amanda's chest. Recognition. Then it happened. Tanuki laughed. Not loudly, not harshly, but pointedly. "She is still learning," Tanuki said, her tone light, almost playful. "Young wives need guidance." The words floated across the table like harmless humor. The men chuckled politely. Stephen chuckled too. That laugh, casual, effortless, unexamined, pierced deeper than the insult itself. Amanda felt humiliation burn through her chest, sharp and immediate. It was not the first criticism she had endured. It was not even the harshest, but this one was public, deliberate, strategic. She stood there, hands clasped politely before her, while her competence was reduced to apprenticeship, while her effort was reframed as dependency, while her identity was quietly diminished. And Stephen laughed, not maliciously, not cruelly, but compliantly. He did not say, "She prepared this herself." He did not say, "Amanda is an excellent cook." He did not say, "Please do not diminish her." He laughed. The sound echoed in Amanda's ears long after the conversation moved on. In that single moment, something inside her shifted irreversibly. It was not anger, it was clarity. She realized she had been standing alone in every room of her marriage. She finished serving the meal with mechanical grace. She smiled when spoken to. She refilled glasses. She cleared plates. Her movements were controlled, almost regal in their restraint. But inside, something fractured. Humiliation, when private, can be endured. Humiliation, when public and unchallenged by the one who vowed to protect you, becomes betrayal. The dinner concluded without incident. The guests departed, expressing gratitude and satisfaction. The house returned to its usual quiet order. Stephen stretched comfortably in his chair. "That went well," he said casually. Amanda looked at him for a long moment. "Yes?" she replied softly. Tanuke passed through the dining area, pausing just long enough to deliver one final remark. "You see, with proper guidance, improvement comes." Amanda inclined her head. "Of course," she answered. Her voice did not tremble. That was the frightening part. She felt strangely calm. The breaking point rarely announces itself with shouting. Often, it arrives with stillness. Later that night, when the dishes were washed and the lights dimmed, Amanda entered the bedroom quietly. Stephen was already preparing for bed, scrolling through his phone. She watched him briefly. The man she had once admired for his intelligence and ambition now appeared smaller, not in stature, but in courage. "Did that comment not bother you?" she asked gently. Stephen glanced up. "What comment?" "Your mother's," he shrugged. "She was joking. Don't be sensitive." Sensitive. The words settled like a final stone in an already heavy foundation. Amanda nodded slowly. "I see," she said. He returned to his phone. The matter in his mind was resolved, but in Amanda's heart, it was concluded. She walked to the wardrobe and opened it carefully. The hangers slid softly against the metal rod. The sound felt louder than usual in the quiet room. She selected a suitcase, not the largest, not dramatic, just enough. Stephen did not notice at first. She folded her clothes methodically, work attire, personal belongings. Important documents. Each fold was deliberate, each movement steady. This was not impulsive, this was accumulation. Years of silence, months of dismissal, countless moments of being reduced, corrected, supervised, and unprotected. Stephen finally looked up. "What are you doing?" She did not stop packing. "I am leaving." The simplicity of her tone unsettled him. "For what?" he asked, confused rather than alarmed. "For myself," she replied. He sat upright now. "It is about dignity," she answered calmly. Stephen exhaled sharply. "You are overreacting." Amanda paused and met his gaze. "No," she said with composed certainty. "I have been underreacting for too long." Silence expanded between them. "You cannot expect my mother to change," Stephen continued defensively. "I never expected her to," Amanda replied. "I expected you to protect me." The words landed with measured precision. He had no immediate response. She resumed packing. There were no tears. Not tonight. Tears had been shed privately over smaller wounds. This one required strength. When the suitcase was zipped closed, she stood still for a moment, absorbing the gravity of what she was doing. Marriage had once meant commitment, companionship, shared growth. But a union without respect becomes confinement. She lifted the suitcase handle. Stephen watched her, uncertainty finally creeping into his expression. "You're serious?" "Yes." "You're leaving over a joke?" She held his gaze steadily. "I am leaving because you laughed." The distinction was clear. The humiliation had been public. The betrayal had been intimate. And that laugh, light, dismissive, unthinking, had broken something permanent. Amanda walked toward the door without drama, without raised voices, without spectacle. There is a particular dignity in quiet departure. Behind her, the house remained immaculate, ordered, controlled. But it was no longer home. And for the first time in a long time, Amanda felt something she had almost forgotten. Self-respect.
Was in love with potential. Maybe I missed a word for commitment. Cause a man who truly loves his wife would never let her beg to feel protected in life. I shouldn't have to compete for the place that belongs to me. And I'm tired, so tired of this pain. Of being married and still feeling abandoned again. They promised me heaven and earth, that the altar promised me.